Okay, guys, hope you're doing really well. This is Henry here, boom, from Gym Marketing Secrets. Hope you're doing really well. What I want to do is actually take you guys through a little bit of a sales process. Now, this is, this is derived from a whole range of different sources. We've got Grant Cardone, we've got Jordan Belfort, Spin Selling, Oren Klaff, How to Pitch Anything. So many different books that are powerful. Let me just check that this is actually working and we're live. Okay, cool, we're live. Okay, cool. Now this is important. This is important when you're in the selling scenario with potential prospects in your gym. And I want to keep it really simple. And I'm going to do a little diagram here to explain the selling process. Okay, so this X here is basically the start of the conversation. This X here is the close. So I'm just going to write the start and the close. And basically what this mountain represents is the emotional state of the client. Okay. So essentially there's a few principles you need to understand when it comes to selling, which are really, really key. So the first thing is that as the salesperson, your number one job is to ask questions. And the asking questions point is really critical when it comes to the first section here. So I'm just going to change the color. So this section here really is about asking questions. And it can be done over maybe a 5 to 10 minute time frame. And it's asking a certain sequence of questions. So I'm going to, we've got a script that we use, but I'm going to give you a brief overview. So firstly, if someone's booked in from a lead generation ad that you've run, they've come into the gym, these are the questions that you could ask. Hey, name, so glad that you came in. Before we start, tell me, what was your goal again? So that is the first question. So generally it's about goals and what they're wanting to do. So that is the first question here, right? So make these little lines the questions. The chat will probably get a little bit complicated. So generally speaking, people will respond really well to a question like that. They will give you a long form answer that could go on for 2 to 3 minutes. That would require a little bit of back and forth. So they could say, look, I've just come in because my doctor said that X, or I've been out of the gym for 6 months. I just feel really terrible. I know I need to get moving. I've been reading a book about needing to blah, 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 blah. And yeah, and then, what they're saying is why they've come into the gym. And then you want to actually clarify that why. So the next question, once you've they've given you the overview of their desire for being there, you can say, cool. So what are you wanting to achieve? Is there a specific outcome that you want? And at that point, they could say, look, it could be losing weight. It could be, building muscle, getting stronger, building up energy, increasing stamina, getting focus and clarity in, mentally. They want to use the gym to help them do that. Could be a whole bunch of range of those different things. So now that you've got the overview, which is here, and then you've got a bit more specific what their goals are, you can say, cool. So basically, asking questions, the purpose of that is to gather intel so that you can offer relevant products for them. Okay, so you're gathering intel so that you can offer relevant products. It's really key. And also, there's a few more concepts that go into that, but we'll leave that for now. Now, the next thing is you want to deepen, or in this instance, you want to increase the emotional stakes of the conversation. And this is what we're doing here. We're building emotions so that they connect the emotion to your product, okay? So you're saying around here on the third X, okay, cool. So what have you done recently to try and overcome these goals or reach these goals? And at this point, most people will say, look, to be honest, it's been shit. I haven't been able to do anything. I've been stuck. I don't know what to do, how to start. I've just been so busy. I haven't had time. I've really come to this point where I know I need to make a commitment. So basically what you've done there is you amplified their pain, and you've also starting to garner commitment from them. So they're saying things like, I know I need to commit to something. And basically you're getting them to say what they want to say, what you want them to say. And this is not about manipulating, and this is not about anything like that. It's just about revealing what their desire is and then seeing if you can provide the solution. And then the last thing you want to say is, okay, cool. Like, thanks for sharing that with me. I really understand where you're coming from. And you could even give a story of your own, like blah, 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 but don't take too long, because remember, you want to focus on them. You don't want to start you doing the whole emotional thing. Now, once they've told you what they've been trying to do, and then the last question before you reach the peak is, okay, cool. Like, if we started you on this program, what would stop you from doing it? Like, what would be a barrier for you? And then they would say, like, oh, look, it would be blah, 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 blah. It could be the fact that I've done this and that. Or like, I don't know, it could be a whole bunch of different things. But once you've reached that point, you've basically reached the climax of the emotional peak of the conversation. Now, in a gym setting, this should take 5 to 10, even 15 minutes. Now, there is a bit of a caveat here, because some people will answer you and say, well, like, what's your goal? Lose weight. And they won't give you anything to draw from. Now, if someone is really short and I would say non-emotional, you want to try and tease them out of it and say, okay, cool, lose weight. Like, what for? Like, what are you wanting to lose weight for? I say, oh, I just want to get fitter. So why? Okay, cool. So is the fitness for like your work, or is it for general life? And they say, yeah, it's for general life. Now, if they're still like that, you could say something like, well, why have you come in now? Like, what's been the motivating force? And they could say, oh, I saw your gym, wanted to come in. Now, if you're with someone like that, you're probably like the emotional peak will be more like here, and some people is even like here. So it's not always perfect. You want to always try and do your best to try and lift the emotional threshold here. And this is what Jordan Belfort talks about is, not sure if he calls it the emotional threshold, but you want to lift this threshold of the emotion behind the purchase up high. Now, once you've reached this pinnacle, and this is not being anything particular, but generally females will get to this peak high because they're more self-aware. Males are less self-aware, and they don't, I mean, basically put, they're less self-aware, so their emotional peak will be lower. Once you've reached here, it's now time to ask a clincher. Now, the clincher is, okay, cool, what do you need from me to move forward? And then that's where you're inviting them to ask a few different questions. And so they'll say to you, like, look, I need to know, how does it work? Now, these are objections. So how does it work? Well, it's not even an objection, but questions. How does it work? Like, what's the timetable? And how do I, like, what's the payment? So these three things. Now, a question you can ask here is something like this. Okay, cool. So I can answer all of those questions. Before I answer those questions, is there anything else that you'd like to know about the service? Just so I make sure that we really clarify everything for you. And yeah, like, sorry, the timer sort of threw me off. Is there any other questions apart from the ones you've asked, so I can make sure everything's really clear for you? So this is where you uncover their objections. And they'll tell you, like, look, I'm also concerned about my injury, and I also am in between jobs at the moment, so money's a little bit tight. Okay, cool. So you've got those things, and then even once they've said it the second time, you can say again, okay, cool, is there anything else? Now write down all of these objections that they have, and then you can start to offer your pitch. So this really is where you're pitching, and this is where you're going and talking about your service, but I still want you to keep in mind that you don't want to be a talking head here. This is just about unveiling the detail of your service. Now you could say, okay, cool. So the way it works is that we have XYZ as part of the program to ensure that you get the result. You always want to tie back you're doing a lot of anchoring in the pitching. Is you're anchoring what they've explained to you and expressed in these X marks here. You're anchoring those X marks to your product and the benefits of your product. So cool, you said you wanted to lose blah, blah, blah. We have a diet plan in place so that you can do that. And we have an online portal where you can access all of the things there. Like, does that sound cool to you? And I say, yeah, cool. Now, in terms of how it works, we just need you to fill out this form and then blah, blah, blah. So you've talked about how it works. And then the timetable, like the timetable is we have XYZ times available, like what's the best time for you so we can book you in for your first session. So actually get the booking. So these are all steps towards the close. So you've made the booking, they've made commitment. You've talked about the process because people want to know how the process works. And then we're at the price. Now the price is where you want to really do a value stack. Now, if you read any sales letter, any sales page, I could pull up a sales page of, like every sales page has this. What they say in every sales page is, this program will include unlimited access to blah. This program will also include detailed analysis of blah. This program will also include da 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 da. And next to every benefit or feature of that service, they will have a price crossed out. So they say usually you get this for $1,000. Usually you get this for $599. Usually you get this for blah 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 blah. Now you want to keep this short and simple and not corny, because someone's not reading a sales letter, they're listening to you. So you can say something like this when you come to the price. Okay, cool. So the price is this. We offer, first of all, unlimited access to our group training. We offer the meal plan with meal examples every week, refreshed on our online portal. And we also offer a dedicated training, a dedicated PT session with you every week, goes for half an hour. Now, if you were to buy these items individually, you'd pay, $50 a week for the access, $60 a week for the nutrition portal, and then $80 a week for the PT session. Now, that would usually cost you $210 a week. And over a month or 6 weeks, that would be about $1,000. So usually for all these services bundled together, you'd pay $1,000. But because we're doing it in this special challenge, we're going to give you the price for $499. So basically it's a 50% discount. Now, once you've said that, don't say anything. Don't go and blah, 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 like we can do a payment plan and blah, 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 blah. You don't want to assume anything. You just want to exactly do what I just laid out then. So firstly, blah, 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 you get the online portal, you get the gym access, the PT. They're usually worth this, bundled together, they cost this. But today, because you're doing it in the program, we can give it to you for this, $499. And then silence. Wait for a reaction. Now, at that point, you should close a lot of the clients. Some people might say, it's a little bit pricey for me. You can say, like, what would be, like, why is it pricey, or what would be better for you, just to get more information from them. Don't give them anything yet. They'll say, look, to be honest, I am really struggling for money right now. I could probably, and then you could say, before they keep going, you could say something like this, cool. How about we start and put you on a weekly plan? Because the conversation we had before, I really think that we can get you the results that you want. And I think, like, if you just dedicated yourself for 6 weeks in this program, you get some unbelievable results. Like, we've done it so many times with other clients, like, it's hands down, you're going to get results. So why don't you just start, make the first payment and get in the door, and then we can sort out the other bit of the payment later. So you could offer them like a deposit. So say, put down 1/6 first week payment, 18%, whatever. and then get them going. The key here is when you're speaking in this, you're right now in the highest emotional, not even emotional, but the highest stakes frame here. So this is high stakes, and it's a gym membership. So it's not high stakes. It's not like you're selling, planes to a company. Imagine that. The high stakes is here, right? So what people want to feel from you is a transference of energy, and not even energy, but they want to be confident that you'll deliver them the result. And if people get too worked up on the price, like they think about the price too much, what they're doing in their mind is saying like $500 could actually buy me like an unlimited gym membership at the crap gym that will take me half an hour to drive to across the city. That's what they're thinking. But like with you want to pull them away from that train of thought and pull them into your confidence flow. So basically, when you're speaking in this high stakes situation, you've dropped the price, they've given you a little bit of like an objection, you want to deliver confidence and say, look, and don't speak too much, but be clear and simple and straightforward, and don't go on. So look, we can definitely get you this result. It just depends on whether you want to commit to it right now. And then say nothing. Let them sort of marinate in your words. And guys, if you use this system, it'll really increase and bring an uptick in your sales, because I know a lot of gyms literally just don't have a sales process and they go straight to the price. People don't care about the price. Like when people come into a gym, the emotional state they're in, it's daunting. Like they're scared. They're not even thinking about price. They just want to know that you can get them results, make them feel comfortable. The price is often not even an issue. If you're bringing in the price, it's almost like, it's just so dumb, because you're not qualifying them. You're not getting intel from them. You haven't done this question process properly to get enough information from them. You haven't brought them to that peak emotional state, and you haven't brought them down to the close in a logical way, handling their objections. And then you haven't brought confidence in the high stakes environment. And this takes training and it takes practice. But you don't want to play golf with a stick. You want to play golf with a golf club. So when you have this system in place, it's like playing golf with a golf club. You're going to play properly. But if you're coming in with, the price, it doesn't work. And it takes training. It won't happen straight away. Like people think sales is something that happens overnight. It isn't. It takes time. But if you do implement and do apply this process, your sales, the uptick in sales that you will see will be worth it. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope, this was really beneficial. This is drawing from a lot of different sources, and it's really simple. You've just got to make sure that you implement. Thanks for watching, guys, and speak to you soon. Cheers.